Russia has retaliated as after Ukraine used long-range ballistic missile. After Ukraine started using long-range ballistic missile, Russia has retaliated, bombing every district of Kyiv. Ukrainian capital today, the 14th of November, came under heavy bombardment from all the districts. Russia had a targeted attack. All the districts, in fact, everywhere in Ukraine was like, boom, 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 boom. Before you come and say, I am promoting war, I'm reporting it in a way that you can understand. Ukrainians were just like, ooh, kaboom, there was siren ringing, boom, bam. All the districts, including the district of the presidency, came under heavy Russian bombardment. As Russia is bombing the capital, Russia is intensifying its capturing and its advancement in Pokrovsk and the Zaporozhye region. Now that Ukraine says they want to use long-range ballistic missile, Russia has intensified its kaboom. And Russia says that they're going to intensify. And as Russia was bombing Ukraine, Ukraine now sent 100 drones inside Russia. Russia says that they shot down 100 drones fired by Ukraine overnight, excluding the ballistic missile. Watch the video before you say I am.
Russia has launched a massive attack on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. At least one person has been reported killed and more than a dozen others injured. Kyiv's mayor says almost every district in the capital came under attack overnight. Drones and missiles targeted critical infrastructure, sparking fires and scattering debris around the capital. Emergency services say they've rescued more than 40 people from the fires and destruction so far. Let's bring in our correspondent, Nick Conley. He joins us from Kyiv. Nick, major attacks across the capital overnight. What's the situation there this morning?
So we've just heard from the mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, that it's now 3 people that have lost their lives over the past night. That figure could still rise. Usually it takes a while to get a final kind of overview of the impact of these attacks. It was certainly a very long air raid alert last night, over 5 hours, and that has been the pattern of recent months because Ukraine's air defenses are able to deal with lots of these targets, especially cruise missiles, ballistic missiles to an extent. The Russian strategy has been basically to do fewer attacks and then try and overwhelm Ukrainian defenses first with drones and then with the missiles in the hope of some of them getting through.
How are Ukraine's air defenses holding up, Nick, under this onslaught?
So we haven't had figures yet. That also takes a bit of time. Normally you get an overview of a kind of percentage of drones that have been shot down, the same for ballistic and cruise missiles. What is interesting about this kind of attack on Kyiv and surroundings, it seems to be less about the electricity supply, which is easier to repair in a way and where it's easier for Ukraine to then bring in electricity from other countries in Europe, for instance, and it's been more about the heating supply. This country, like lots of countries in Central Eastern Europe, has centralized heating provision in cities, and basically that means pipes with hot water going around the city and providing, apartment buildings, often, very many stories with heat as temperatures drop. These are not places where you can easily just put in a gas boiler if you're living on the 20th floor. And that is something that is very difficult to repair, especially once temperatures drop, if those pipes were to freeze, if they've been destroyed. So there's been more attacks overnight, we understand, on those plants that provide heat. And it is going to be very, very difficult to try and compensate. Maybe people will be able to put electric heaters in if they have electricity, find other ways of keeping warm, but it is certainly something that the Russians are trying to do now ahead of winter. This is not the first time they've tried to do it, but it does seem this time around that they are doing it more kind of impactfully and more intensively.
Kyiv's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, has warned of possible disruption to power and water supplies. Nick, give us a sense of just how vulnerable Ukraine's civilian infrastructure is now as we move into winter.
I mean, it is not new, these attacks, right? Everyone was expecting them and in theory should have been preparing for them. That's part of the reason why people are quite so angry about this corruption scandal that has erupted in recent days around the energy ministry. and the suggestion there that people in key posts were more concerned with demanding kickbacks from contractors than they were with actually protecting particularly the electricity supply. I think there is a level at which Ukraine is never going to have full protection, especially from ballistic missiles. From those Russian Shahed drones, it's easier to actually protect the equipment and the infrastructure. But I think there is something that they just have to keep on rebuilding. There is no magic bullet to this.
What about outside the capital, Nick? We understand that there have been reports also, beyond Kyiv. What can you tell us about those?
So I think the most intense attacks were in Kyiv and surrounding regions. There were also reported attacks in Odessa on energy targets, but I think the most kind of remarkable kind of news flash of last night was an attack supposedly on Sumy with a Russian Zircon hypersonic missile. We understand that it hit a road and didn't seemingly hit its intended target, but that is obviously one of these weapons that the Russian army likes to threaten and try and intimidate Ukrainians with. We don't know what impact that strike had, but certainly this is the picture. Ukraine under attack very intensively, and then there's usually a bit of a break, and then the Russians wait until they have a new supply of missiles to try and get past their defenses.
Nick, thank you very much for that update. That was our correspondent, Nick Connolly, in Kyiv.
Congratulations, you've passed your GCE or baccalaureate, and now it's time to choose a professional university that opens real doors to your future. Let us introduce you to the African Higher Institute of Technology, a career-focused institution that not only awards internationally recognized certificates, but also guarantees direct employment opportunities upon graduation through its solid network of partner companies and institutions worldwide. This school operates in collaboration with the Cameroon Ministry of Higher Education, UBA Bank, St. Francis Xavier Institute, Canada. Located in Yaoundé, Mendong, away from the noisy town, AHIT provides the following for its students: a free brand new laptop immediately after paying a registration fee of 25,000 francs CFA, free high-speed internet access on campus, hands-on professional training, mentorship from local and international experts, offering courses like local government in accounting, finance and administration, computer engineering, artificial intelligence, biomedical sciences, economics and finance, business and management, arts and education, law and public policy, agricultural sciences. Whether you dream of becoming a software developer, civil engineer, healthcare technician, or business strategist, AHIT is your direct path to success. Apply now and take the bold step toward a future of innovation, professionalism, and global opportunity.